Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by the Regressor. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Now, I've actually been a fan of yours for a pretty long time.
I actually get that a lot when people talk to me.
Well, I've been really curious about where the idea for like making PS1 / N64 type models came from.
Well, the initial idea started when I was still in college, where I was first learning 3D modeling. Back in what I was in college from 2007 to 2011, 4 years.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was learning modeling, and I came across these Mass Effect models that someone did. They were like chibi models, each about maybe 500 polygons, and I'm like, huh, that's neat. And then I promptly forgot about it for a few years till after graduation, where I was out of college, no job, and I needed money, so I got a job at the airport. That's no use to my degree, but I still wanted to do something in my off time. So I just thought back to when I was a kid and I enjoyed 64 games and all that. And I thought, huh, maybe I could just make models like that, but using more modern characters, but make them look like they came out back then. So that's initially how it started. And the first models I did were from Wreck-It Ralph, that video game movie that Disney made back around 2011, 2012, I think.
Mm. Huh.
But that's that's really how it started. I just tried. I didn't really look up tutorials for how to do low poly modeling. I just eyeballed it, made it up as I went along.
Well, you said you were learning 3D modeling in college. Were you majoring in animation?
Oh yeah, I majored in game design and
Uh-uh.
I minored in animation. So I learned more contemporary 3D modeling practices. I never got into sculpting like ZBrush or anything, but I did touch on Mudbox, Maya, and a few other software that helps like Crazy Bump that's not even around anymore. But yeah, I learned traditional, I guess, industry standard practices back then.
Is in your opinion, is Maya worth getting? Because personally, I'm tooling around with Blender at the moment, and I am having a hell of a time.
Well, this is definitely my bias, but if you have a chance to choose to learn Blender, Maya, or anything else, absolutely go with Blender because it is free.
Mm, gotcha, gotcha.
Like I started with Maya, so I'm kind of just locked into it because I'm so familiar with it. It's just second nature, like breathing to me, and it's hard to leave it because I'm so familiar with it. But yeah, if you're new to it, definitely go with Blender because it's free. It doesn't cost arms and legs.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know anything about Maya, but with Blender, I've seen people like it's almost like you're learning an entire other language, and then when you watch somebody start to speak that language, it's might as well be hieroglyphs at a certain point.
You know more than I would. I know nothing about Blender, so I take your word for it. But I still definitely endorse it because it's free. Anybody can use it. Like there's no subscription service or anything, and the amount of plugins available for it are astounding. I've seen many videos on my feed that have low poly or game design uh, things going on, and yeah, Blender's amazing. I just don't know it.
Now, do you have a model, or I should say, a model that you've previously worked on that you would consider your favorite?
um, I've had a few over the years. Let's see. Probably my favorite. I'll do my most recent favorite. Probably the Samus model I did for Metroid Dread.
Mm. Well, I saw your post recently about the Prime remake and
Oh yeah.
that suit. I want to see that. I want to see that brought back down.
Oh yeah. I want to do that, but the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I was thinking that they already did a remake of it when they did Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. But I'll still do my own take. But an official take already does exist too.
Fair enough. See, because the, like it's your artwork scratches a specific part of my brain that I love low poly art, and I also love it when it's implemented into how do I word it? Like low poly model, high res surroundings.
Yeah, that sort of gives off of a pre-rendered background kind of a feel, like low poly art, but pre-made backgrounds that look better than the actual characters. But like in the older Final Fantasy games that use that technique a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I love that too.
Well, they
I
are
just haven't done much work on it.
or like oh god, what's the? It's only one of my favorite games that I'm totally blanking right now. Oh no. There we go. Metal Gear Solid 5. How you can like dress as Metal Gear Solid 1 Snake.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that. I haven't gotten far into that game, but I've seen screenshots of it.
I
Yeah,
I went and beat the whole game with that outfit, and it makes every cutscene better.
all the expression and emotion of the PS1 game.
The solid brick face. I oh well. So what are your excuse me? Sorry, I'm oddly nervous for this for some reason.
Hey, take your time. I'm actually I'm sick right now, so if I sound stuffy and whatnot, that is why. So
Ah.
just yeah, I'm just a regular person that has a very specific obsession.
Well, so where have you have you worked on video games previously?
Yes, I worked on a my first game I worked on was a game called Pumpkin Online. I think they actually changed the name of it, but it was the main 3D modeler, rigger, and animator. It was a farming sim, a social farming sim. I left before it released though, but they switched game engines and they weren't able to pay me as much, so it was mutual parting. But yeah, like hey, I'll stay on for this initial phase, but then I gotta go and focus on making more money. So, but I did release and it's on Steam. I don't remember how much it cost, but
Is it
no, they changed the name to Pumpkin Days. It was Pumpkin Online beforehand, but they changed it to Pumpkin Days. But yeah,
ah?
Pumpkin Days.
I say I think I found it right as you. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm responsible for the main character, the different geometry for the character creator, some of the textures, and some of the initial animations. But they soon hired on other people once they got more funding and whatnot. And I had moved on to something else by then. But yeah, I still talk them up whenever I can.
Nice. Do you have any projects coming up that you're able to talk about?
Yes, I previously the game after Pumpkin Days, I worked on Zardy's Maze, which was a uh, maze jump scare game where you're going through a core maze trying to evade terrifying scarecrows to get rid of all the weird stuff going on. And right now I'm working on Zardy's Maze 2, which is a sequel to it. And that's about all I can really say about it.
Say without giving too much away.
Yeah, well, if you for the people that have played the first one, they'll know what to expect. Different scarecrows. Well, I'll talk about Zardy's Maze 1 then. There's a few different scarecrows in the game. There's like one that slowly walks, that drags a hoe, and he when any of them get you, they jump into your face and either like bash you with their whatever weapon they have, and apparently it's really popular with kids.
Huh. Well,
Like, I don't really play those types of games myself, but apparently we made a fun one, which is always good to hear.
what that is an interesting thing. Of like, I don't get why like kids like the most terrifying things.
I guess it's interesting. It's new and fresh to them. It's not real, so it can. I guess it doesn't scare them the same way that real stuff does scare you. So it's like a fantasy fear or whatever.
You know what? You know what? I can totally understand that. All I know is
Yeah, and
what's up?
oh, sorry. And I would say that Zardy's Maze One is a low poly game. Like all the characters are. It looks like a really nice 64 game in terms of fidelity. It's pixelated and blocky.
Nice. So you said Zarya's maze.
Zardy's Maze, like Zardy, and it's
Oh,
on Steam and it is free.
Ooh, there might be there might be a video in my future.
And it's also very hard. I cannot beat it.
Oh man, I got recommended one that was I. Oh man, I'm blanking on the name. I have it in my Steam list, but you're running through like a almost like somebody's basement, and it's just like it steals. Have you heard of that one?
What's it called?
It steals.
It steals. No, I haven't heard of that one.
You're just it's almost like a dungeon crawler, but there's just something chasing you the entire time.
Oh,
And I
see, that sounds similar to Zardy's Maze. There's always a scarecrow chasing you, but
oh
I'll have to check that out.
oh if it's similar, I'm gonna have a rough time. I have a hard time with those games. Uh,
Oh, cool. Oh, it's rated very favorably. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to check this out.
so I'm gonna have to download this Zardy's Maze as well. I and you said there's a sequel coming for this?
Yeah, yeah. I
Nice.
was actually in a meeting for that right before before this one.
Oh,
We were actively working on it.
nice. I hmm.
Yeah, I'm the lead modeler, animator, rigging, textures, pretty much all the visuals except UI.
So what does the workflow look like for that? Like where do you even start?
Well, I listen to the designer and creator, Swanky Box, and I make the stuff look good. But seriously, in more detail, it's definitely a give and take process. Like like the designer, he'll block out a level, and then I'll go over it with in Maya and give more detailed geometry with smoother curves or sharper edges or whatever, and just make it look like it's make it look more like something you want to play and that's presentable.
Hmm.
And the same thing with the characters. Like I'll get a purchase footage from a Swanky box of what the animation looks like using whatever rulers or props he has, and I'll just translate it to the character and just use it as reference.
Okay. And are you designing the characters, or are you handed a design and then you create the model around it?
Oh, I'm handed the design, and Swanky box is a decent enough artist, but I think we all like what how I've translated the characters.
Fair enough. That's because I'm
Yeah, I'm not much of a designer or concept person myself. I'm good at taking concepts and translating them.
well because I'm as we're speaking, I'm looking at this screen cap of the scarecrow coming out of the corn, and I just great now I'm nervous to play that. now that I've now it's recorded here. Now I have to.
Yeah, I think the initial trailer for Zardy's Maze One was deliberately deceptive. It was like a bright sunny farm with it was like the sun was out, it was bright and cheery, and it was like oh, come on down to Zardy's Maze. And the actual game is not that.
make it
It's dark, creepy, there's murderous scarecrows running around. You don't want to be here.
make it sound like it's a Animal Crossing. Come on down to the farm. It'll be fun. Oh no.
It was not fun. Well, it's fun, but it's not the fun you're expecting.
I,
Oh, and we do have a teaser for Zardy's Maze 2 out. I think there's a Steam page for it and everything. So there's a few screenshots and its reveal trailer on there, I believe.
nice. I will link to that in the description of this here video, or once this video comes out. Well, that's a heck of a deal. I I feel like there should be like an April Fool's iteration of this game where it's as the trailer promised, like it's happy and fun.
Well, they actually as a update they actually did a riff on that to where one of the bonus challenges in Zardy's Maze where it was sunny with more upbeat music, but the scarecrows were even fiercer.
Oh, gee, like they're more aggressive.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
instead of walking fast, they straight up run.
oh no.
So it's kind of worse, but it's daylight, so you can at least see where you're going.
Oh god. Well, oh, what was the it? There was a game came out a couple like years ago. Uh, Slender the Eight Pages.
Yeah, I played that one. I don't remember if it was the official release or the when it was still a fan game, but I played one of those.
Well, if I remember, the 8 pages was sort of like a one objective type deal. Just get the 8 pages, and the game just quits on you.
Okay.
And they added a daylight mode, and to me that made the game scarier because you can see him coming now.
Oh man, that's yeah, Slenderman. That was the OG jump scare game for me.
Oh, I think I still have it some deep folder on my desktop, some deep forgotten corner.
Oh yeah, that was 2012. Man, I still don't feel old, but that was a while ago.
2012.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh. 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 I just felt myself like age the last 11 years. Ah. I so yeah, there was. Oh no, damn my hubris. I had something written down, and then it wasn't written down anymore.
Oh, you can take your time. I'm no rush. It can come back to you.
I was aiming for something, and I. Oh no.
You can just edit that part out if you need to.
Yeah, just cut out the 10 minutes of my brain frying.
Yeah, if it comes back to you, we can come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for you today. I'm just hey, if they want to ask me for an interview, I say yeah, sure. If it's about low poly or whatnot, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Well, for the people at home who might not know who you are, you from what I've seen, you also do commission work. How much do you usually charge for that?
Well, I've actually changed my pricing because I before and during Zardy's Maze One, I was getting a lot of requests, so I raised my price so I could get fewer requests.
Mm.
So because I just I still work a full time job. I'm still at the airport with nice benefits and all that, which is the only reason why I'm still there.
Mm.
So all the 3D work I do is purely on my free time. But now I just charge like $30 an hour now. So
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Huh.
yeah, that's actually as much as I make at my day job. So
Are they hiring? Do they need somebody with no experience? I'm down. I need money.
yeah, definitely apply to your airport if you want a decent job that pays good.
I actually had a buddy of mine that worked at our local airport, but I think the area he was working in wasn't the best.
Oh yeah, the work itself is, but the benefits and pay kind of make up for it for me.
Fair enough.
Look, I have a few health issues like asthma and allergies and glasses, and I need medical
Yeah,
and all that.
same here actually. I'm actually fighting with my current job about that right now.
Oh yeah, that is the struggle in a world governed by capitalism.
Well, oh, well, I had an interesting conversation. So my state does offer like not free, but assistance, right?
Mhm.
And I go, hey, can I sign up? And they go, well, you make too much.
That's yeah, that's the same deal with people that are on disability benefits and whatnot. They can only make so much, otherwise they lose their benefits. That's oh, my computer died on me.
I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, my computer just went blank for a second.
Uh oh. But what was it the exact wording was so the minimum wage here is about $15, or at least in my area. And they're like, well, yeah, you make over the minimum for the insurance. I go, so I need to be unemployed to get insurance.
Oh wow, that is such a gotcha.
Y-
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's just because they haven't changed their policy since the minimum wage changed.
Oh, so the policy should have upped itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is frustrating. Um,
Oh, there we go. Stretch.
no, but yeah, to go back to your initial question about yeah, commission work. I actually haven't done any at all in the past year or so because of Zardy's Maze 2 work. It's pretty much been another part-time job on my plate.
Gotcha. Uh,
I did I think I did one. I think I did an album cover for a guy last year. Other than that, yeah, I haven't didn't do anything commission wise.
well, it's I've personally I've been trying to learn Blender to I there's only one model I want to make, and I don't have the know-how to do it. And that's what's killing me.
So is it like the know-how on what to use the tools in Blender, or the is it the thought process on achieving yeah shapes, or
It's
how do you?
it's that curse of like learning a new skill because I'm still very new to Blender, but I have it pictured in my brain as to what I want, but my hands can't translate it.
Oh, okay. So it's just learning the new software angle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will say, when I first started learning Maya, I hated it. Like I was pulling my hair out trying to remember what tool was where and what to click on first, or and everything for my 3D intro to 3D class, and I hated it.
well, the
And about like 3/4 way through the class, it just clicked, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't so bad. I kind of like this."
well, I think what helped me is I just went on like a desperation search through YouTube. I'm just like how to make PS1/PS2 model, please, and and I found a fella. I'll have to find his channel as we talk, but he 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 mentioned something that I've never seen in a Blender tutorial before, which is how do you move the camera?
Oh, that's right. Blender's camera by default is different from Maya's.
Well, it's weird because it's the middle mouse button.
Yeah, I've toyed around with Blender before, but I don't know anything other than opening Blender and maybe moving the camera. But yeah, it's I remember it being different from Maya. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Blender. It's a really good software. Just software I do not know, unfortunately.
Well, I made this character years ago, and I want to make something tangible out of him. And that's the problem.
I gotcha. What character is it? Is it your own character or something that already exists?
It's my own, but I made him a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It's just like it's the in video games where you can like pick up a dead body and move it around.
Mhm.
So years ago, well, I still do it, but you pick up a body and you name it Philip, and then you see how long you can take it with you.
Uh-huh.
Like how far in the game can you make it with just that one dead body?
Interesting. That kind of reminds me of that challenge in Half-Life where you get an achievement for carrying a gnome with you throughout the entire game.
Yeah, but imagine that, but with a full corpse through like dead space.
Oh man, that would sound intense.
it's it does get weirdly intense, especially like because with most things, if you hang around it long enough, you start to like personify it,
Oh wow, yeah.
and so like it's not like oh I lost the dead body. It's more of just a Philip no as he's falling down a chasm.
Philip can't get hurt or die because he's already dead, but You have an attachment to Philip.
He he's a terrible conversationalist, but a great listener.
Oh, that is a good idea.
But I have a logo made that I'm a fan of, and then I want to make a 3D model of like a baseline Philip.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Ooh.
but so far I've got just a vague head shape right now in Blender. That's how far I've gotten.
Well, I don't mind giving you tips or pointers as far as doing the 3D shape, but yeah, I'm afraid I am no help with the Blender know-how angle.
Oh, it's all good. Like I said, I just started with like the square, and I've just been trying to mold it into a head. Uh, and then I think the true headache that awaits me down the line is texturing.
Texturing. Well, again, I can't speak on Blender's behalf, but I love it when it comes to Maya because it has a built-in UV editor, so you can deliberately place the faces as you want them, so you can then do the textures in another program.
Oh, how much is Maya?
I am still using the version I acquired in college, but now I think it's in the range of 1,700 a year for a professional license.
17.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is why I this is why I routinely use the older version that I have. That's a permanent license.
let's see here.
But yeah, they do offer I think student versions for free or trial versions for free.
I'm, I'm looking at the like download free trial. Like, oh, maybe, and I look down and it says $225 monthly.
Yeah, you can either do the monthly version, which is probably going to be more expensive than the yearly version, and then there's also I think a 5-year version that costs the most but is cheaper in the long run.
Let's see here. 3 years for $5,300.
Oh god, that's more expensive than I remember.
Oh,
Oh yeah, so I misspoke. It's not a 5 year; it's 3 years. Wow, yeah, they got to get their money.
oh, wow. I I now understand why they've used a nice photo of Rocket Raccoon here.
Yeah, like Maya's a great software. You can do a whole lot in it, but it costs.
But you're gonna have to
That's why if
pay.
I were to that's why I definitely recommend Blender if you're new to 3D. Like if you know nothing at all with 3D,
Hmm.
definitely go with Blender because you don't have to pay for it.
I say now I gotta go. You know, tell my girlfriend I can't make rent because I gotta install Maya.
Yeah, like holy cow.
I jeez Louise. Oh, it's okay. It's Autodesk. I think I've used their 3D scanning stuff before.
Yeah, they have a few other software. They also do Mudbox, which is a sculpting 3D sculpting software, not too dissimilar from ZBrush. Different UI and everything, but you can achieve somewhat similar results if you know what you're doing in them.
Is ZBrush? Is that the uh, is it the VR one?
Oh, I don't know if it has the VR features, but it's the software where you pretty much use it's ideally used with a drawing tablet where you literally sculpt 3D clay to your character or whatever you're making.
Gotcha, gotcha,
It's like a
gotcha.
really intricate and detailed software they use for just about everything in the AAA game industry as far as getting detailed characters and whatnot.
Huh. 'Cause-
It's the industry standard last I checked, but I'm not a professional, so I can't speak for all of them.
Well, I mean, you you got your work into games. That's professionalism right there.
I'll take the compliment, but I just do what I do for fun. I don't care to shake the industry or be the next big thing. I'm just enjoying myself.
So what you're saying is, watch out, Hideo Kojima. because you're on his tail.
Exactly.
Oh man, I so is there a specific part of like game models like outfits or spaceships or like is there a certain facet of those types of models that you particularly enjoy, a certain niche?
Like, as far as modeling them or just design wise?
Either or, working on them or even just looking at them.
Honestly, if it's well made, I like anything in games really. Be it the sci-fi stuff like in Metroid Prime or the simple stuff in Animal Crossing. I like it all. Like I don't think there's a specific niche I'm more drawn into as far as visually.
Well, I was like I've got a couple of friends that can attest to this. I absolutely adore like power armor and like mechs
Okay.
and like those types of like the suits like the Master Chief armor, that sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Okay. So if I were to narrow it down, like if there's a specific aesthetic or genre I like, I'm definitely big into JRPGs, like anime hairstyles and all that. I love it. That's my bread and butter for games I like to play.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite game of all time?
Um, all time, it's definitely a tough pick between one of a few Zelda games. But if I were to say a non-Zelda game, it would probably be any of the Xenoblade games.
I've I've been meaning to try those. Do you have any you'd recommend?
I recommend all three of them. One, two, or three. They're all on the Nintendo Switch now. And in my opinion, each one is better than the last. So one is great, two is better, three is even better than that. And they have some really good stories and character development in them.
Hmm.
And there are worlds, and they have mechs in them as well.
And sold.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't usually control the mechs, but the mechs are just part of the world. Like some characters may use mechs, and they are present and enemies in the story, but it's not a mech game though.
Damn.
Just not to oversell your hype.
I was saying, like, yeah, I'm gonna drive a mech on.
Okay, I actually misspoke. There is another Xenoblade game called Xenoblade Chronicles X where you do get a mech and it can turn into a motorcycle and you do pilot it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that one is sadly stuck on the Wii U system.
Ah, oh, the Wii U of all places.
Yeah, that's the only Xenoblade game that they haven't ported to the Switch, and I wish they would because it is pretty much mech simulator
Oh,
on an alien planet. Like you have a mech, you can swap out its parts, you can repair it, and if it gets destroyed, you have to get insurance on it to not pay as much to get it repaired. Each party member can get their own mech. You can change the colors. It's it's just sort of being a full mech simulator.
now I have to go buy a Wii U.
Like I highly recommend that game. That's like the only Wii U game that hasn't been brought to Switch that needs to be, and it's a shame.
Well, there. Speaking of JRPGs, or I'm not sure if it. Why I'm. You know what? Scratch that. I'm pretty sure it counts. The Yakuza series.
I played the Yakuza, some of Yakuza Zero. I wouldn't call it a JRPG, but it definitely has a lot of role playing in it. Yeah.
I'm currently working my way through. I believe it's Kiwami, the first one, or the remake of the first one.
Oh yeah, I think I have. I think I bought a few of those games on sale one time. But yeah, how's that going?
That that's my right now. That's my introduction to that series. I've seen some gameplay, some of the highlights where you're fighting Majima and all that,
Okay.
but I never expected how like sure absurdity's a good part of the series, but I never expected the level of complexity in doing something very simple.
Oh, what do you mean exactly?
Like there's like think it starts yeah with the first game is the Monument Everywhere system where you just keep running into him, the fellow with the eye patch,
Oh,
and
okay. That's
there's one moment where a lady is like, "Hey, you want to go have a drink in a bar with me?" And I go, "Sure, why not?" And you step into the bar, and he's behind the counter polishing a glass, and he's like, "Yeah, that whiskey you drank costs like $3,000. Do you have $3,000?" And you go, "No." And he goes, "Cool. Well, I'll fight you for it."
oh, well, that must be a new addition because that's not in the zero that I was playing.
I want I want to say Zero has like you. I think you play as Majima at a point, from what I've
Oh,
seen.
I guess I must have gotten far at all. Those are very meaty games.
Oh, yeah, like I've been playing that game for a little bit, and I don't even feel like I'm a quarter away through.
Oh wow.
Stretch. There we go. I I don't know. I feel like I need to expand my horizons a little bit in terms of games.
Oh yeah, I know it's difficult trying to balance, trying to make a game and your, work life and playing your comfort games. But yeah, I completely understand.
Now the question is, have you played any of the games that you've worked on?
I have not played Pumpkin Days. I just haven't gotten around to it. I just moved on to doing a lot of commission work after Reach. I just never got around to it. Now I have played Zardy's Maze. It is hard. I cannot beat it. I don't know how anybody can beat it. These people are crazy.
Well, I've always wondered that about people within the games industry is that you spend all this time working on a game, and at the end, do you even want to look at it?
Yeah, I gotta look. It's a little bit like that. Like, man, I know this game. I know these. I literally model these characters. I know every pixel of their body. I know every single animation because I made it. It's like I'm good. Making it was the experience for me, so I don't need to play it. But but of course, it's a game that's out in the wild, and like, wow, people can play this. I at least want to see it from their perspective, even if I don't, play all of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit like that. Like some actors don't like watching themselves in their movies. I get it.
Oh, that reminds me. Didn't well, oh, jeez, what's his name? Didn't Shia LaBeouf do something like that a couple years ago, where he like just played all of his movies in a theater?
Yeah, I don't know the lead up to that, but yeah, he just it was just him, and I think he had audiences with him, but yeah, it was just a marathon of his own movies or something. Hey, power to him.
Hey man, if I ever got crazy rich popular, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna rent out a theater and play all of the previous episodes of Demasked.
But yeah, and as I guess I can say this much in Zardy's Maze 2, I definitely am more active in the development of it because in Zardy's Maze 1, I just sent the files over the internet to the programmer and he would put them in. But with Zardy 2, I'm actually have access to the game engine scenes themselves, so I can put stuff in myself and actually play test it on my own. So I have been play testing Zardy's Maze 2 as we've been making it, and it's going good.
That well, what engine does it run on, or if you're able to say?
Oh, I think I can. Well, Zardy's Maze 1 is Unity, and the sequel is 2.
Okay, fair enough.
And Pumpkin Days is in the Unreal 4 engine.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And while I was on it, that actually switched engines after I left. But when I was on the Pumpkin Days team, they were making it in something called the Hero engine, which is an engine used for MMOs. It has a lot of that foundation built into it for MMO type games.
Probably more stable for like drawing long distance.
I couldn't say the details, but it has like the networking and side of things built into it.
Gotcha. Because
But then they switched to Unreal and they changed the name to Pumpkin Day since it wasn't MMO centric. Still multiplayer, but just not MMO.
I might have to try these out because I'm looking at the page for Pumpkin Days. I'm like, I kind of want to, as I unceremoniously abandon my Animal Crossing farm, my Stardew farm,
Same, same.
my Sims neighborhood. Yeah, I could start a new farm.
Yep, I know that feeling. Like Animal Crossing was my entire life when the pandemic started, so I completely understand.
Dude, I love New Leaf, but I always feel so guilty,
Oh yeah,
especially when they count the days for like how long you've not been playing.
you've been gone for 47 months. Where have you been?
Oh, oh, I think the part that kills me is that Isabel tries to like play it off like it's fine. Hey, you haven't played the game in like 8 months, but it's okay. You're back now, aren't you? I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that happened to me when I played on. I last played my Animal Crossing game on New Year's, New Year's, and I haven't touched it since. And I hadn't touched it like the 8 months prior.
no,
So,
oh no.
yeah, Isabella's a trooper for still believing in us.
I oh well, I wish I understood Animal Crossing better in terms of the villagers because there was one of them that no matter what I did, no matter how many gifts I gave, no matter like whatever presents I left behind, they just moved out of town.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know how they act in New Horizons, but yeah, certain villager types prefer certain gifts or something. I don't remember the details of it, but yeah, it's more intricate than it would you would think.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just one of those villagers that they're just there for a couple of days or a week and then they move out. But I was just like, here's some gifts. Here, I bought you new furniture. Please stay in my town. You're really cool. And they're like, nope, bye.
Maybe villagers do have bias or something. I don't know.
Why are you leaving my town? I just don't want to live here. No, no, thank you. I or the long running joke I've got now that I've been going out of the house more and going to video game shops is every time I see a stuffed animal of Tom Nook, I just point and I'm like, hey, I owe that guy money.
Yeah, it took forever to pay off those loans.
I'm pretty sure I'm still wildly in debt.
Though I will give it to Nook's credit, he doesn't charge you interest on them, unlike student loans. So you just pay the flat amount back, and that I can respect.
I what was it? I did see the number the debt because I did the research. That's a hell of a number.
Oh, what for all the Tom Nook upgrades total?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot, but you're not paying interest on it, so that's the one glimmer of hope there.
Like I know it's part of the design of the game, but I wish just once you could tell Tom Nook no.
Well, you can tell him though, you just don't pay him, but you also don't get a bigger house, but you don't have to pay it.
Well, he's like, oh, we're gonna the upgrade to your house is starting tomorrow. I'm like, I'm good. I like my house right now. No, you're getting a second floor, but I don't want it. Please. I you, you know, game design's expensive, man.
Oh yeah, and game design is also hard, no matter how easy it looks.
Well, that's yeah. I you ever watch the this may sound like a non sequitur, but I swear it pertains to it. Have you ever seen Men in Black?
Yeah,
You know, at the end where they open that door and there's just that whole like gigantic room full of aliens.
I don't remember that part, but keep going.
I think it was at the end of the first movie,
Okay.
and that's like whenever I get into my head that I'm like I want to make a video game. I feel like then somebody reaches over my shoulder. And I'm like, and the door's open. Look how big the universe is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like I'm I'm I would call myself a novice game designer slash artist, but yeah, there's so much to learn when it comes to games between the game engines, the middle software that's used with those engines, the techniques in that software, be it sculpting, modeling, animating, texturing, lighting. There's just so much to games, and yeah, it's you sort of got to just pick what you think you're good at or like to do, and just feel it out.
Well, it's how do I word it? Like, in doing research into game design and whatnot, you sort of get a new pair of eyes when it comes to looking at even something as simple as like the character model for like your player character, because somebody had to sit there for hours and make every little detail on that thing.
Exactly, like, and not just the player character, but every single character in every single game.
It oh like
Between the different hairstyles, the clothing, if clothing is changeable, and not to mention character creators,
oh yeah, jeez.
which that was actually I did that in Pumpkin Days. I was in charge of doing the different geometry blends for the character creator. So yeah, it's work.
I was gonna say, was that a headache unto itself?
For me, no, because all I did was pretty much make the two extremes, like make the very skinny body and make the very large body,
Mm.
and the game engine itself would blend between the two.
Interesting. Huh.
And we just I think I don't remember how detailed we got with it, but we pretty much broke the character up to where there were the arms, there were the legs, the torso, and the head. So you could have very thick arms with a skinny body and middle-sized legs, or a very big body with skinny arms and skinny legs. So you could mix and match it. But yeah, it wasn't a headache for me to do. But as far as the programmer or coders to implement it into the game engine, I don't know. But I can't code myself a paper bag, so any coding at all is hard to me.
Well, that's something I've never considered. Is like for some reason I always thought when it came to like character creators, specifically, you mentioned the thin to larger extremes of a character. I never considered that the engine takes part, or it takes some of the work off of that, because I always thought that you had to hand make each step along the way.
Oh no, that is that may have been the practice before more advanced game engines, but nowadays you're not going to model every increment from a long nose to a short nose or a thin nose. You're going to just do the extremes, and the game engine will blend between them nowadays.
Huh.
Like in any engine, like I think what's the most recent game I play? Like the Saints Row games or the Elden Ring, where you have a character creator.
Mm.
They just do a number of extremes, or a number of variations of it, or even shapes of it, and then the game engine takes it from there.
Hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just the most least amount of work maximum amount of fidelity
Well,
out of it.
well, I'm also thinking of like what like an older game like take like The Sims, like the original Sims.
Right.
If that's just like a step by step creation, implement it, move on to the
I,
next one.
I actually don't know. They may have made 10 different variations in The Sims. I don't remember how detailed their creator was back then. But I
Hmm.
know for their more recent ones they do different I think they have it not procedurally, but they break it up a lot. Like facial features are separate. They just, put together in the engine itself. But yeah, I can't say about The Sims.
That, oh,
Yeah, but I do know that I think it was in some of the older PS1 and 64 games where character creation was limited. They just have pick your head shape, pick your hair shape or color and whatnot, and then call it a day.
hmm.
Because they couldn't really do blending of that nature back then.
Or I think the most I struggled to say limited example I can think of is have you ever heard Toontown?
Toontown, I've heard of it.
It was a Disney MMO.
Oh, is it? Huh? No, okay. I say I'm thinking of a different Toontown.
Well, there's a fan recreation of it because the servers went offline some years ago, and I was playing it just this last night, and uh, you can tell that it didn't look like they had very much time because they do have you sort of your preset palette of fur colors, but then they only have like 5 different heads, but everybody's wearing a short sleeve shirt and like shorts.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Wow. Oh, that's interesting. I never heard of this game.
I I've been on a retro, not, I wouldn't say retro, an older game kick lately.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah. Yes. I or what was the I've always wanted to I've been wanting there's this pipe dream I have of getting a 3D printer and then getting like PS1 like health items and then 3D printing them to life size shape.
So cool.
And I've yet to get a 3D printer, but all I know is I want the med kit from Half Life.
Oh yeah, those were they what green?
Well, it's the ones from '98 where they're just this big brick with a cross on it,
Oh,
and I want to make a life size, like almost like a lunchbox size one.
oh, those. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I never played the original Half Life. I've only played the
What?
two. I've heard a lot about it. I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
You gotta.
Yeah, I love two, so I know I'd like it. I just haven't made the time for it.
Fair enough. And you know what? There's an extensive modding community out there. If you felt so inclined, you could probably single handedly replace every single character in Half Life with one of your own choosing.
Oh wow.
The,
That uses the Source engine though, doesn't it?
if I remember, Half Life One used what's called Gold Source, which is the a version of the Quake engine,
Oh, okay.
and then Source is Half Life Two through Episode Two, and then I think we're on Source Two right now with Half Life Alex. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's the only game engine I can think of in my lifespan that I am intimately familiar with.
Oh wow. That's still yeah, I know a lot. I know of it. I just don't know anything about it as far as usability.
Yeah. If I remember their uh modeling or their like model replacements are very easy to install for I think Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But let's see here. Well, so we are actually closing in here on the hour mark. We're at 55 minutes and counting. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I can keep talking, or if you got things to take care of, I'm good either way.
Sure. Well, you mentioned you're sick earlier, so I don't want to take any rest away from you.
Oh well, I've just got done with a 5 day work week, and then a meeting.
Oh,
I, I
jeez.
I work a lot, and I don't mind it.
Yeah, but I think with that we'll bring this down to a close. I do have a final question before we get out of here, though.
All right.
If asked, would you be open to coming back on as a return guest?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now,
Yeah. And
what's that?
oh, and I have one question for you,
Yeah.
and you can probably cut this out
Mm,
because I did zero research on my own.
mm.
But what is this, like a podcast, or what is this?
This is a talk show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
just
I did not know that.
oh, it's all good. It's just casual conversation, just getting to know you through talking with you, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I'd totally down to come back.
Awesome. But thank you, Regressor, for coming on. This has been phenomenal. I've been wanting to chat you up for a long time, and I'm glad I got the chance to do that today.
Hey, yeah, no problem. And if you want to talk outside of talk show, just shoot me a message. I'm busy, but hey, I respond when I can.
Absolutely. And again, thank you. That this has been fantastic and wonderful party people at home. Please go check out the Regressor at both your Twitter and Tumblr. Yes.
Yeah, those are the two that I use the most, though I haven't been posting as a lot. But yeah, those are my main two places.
I say those are the two main places people can find you.
Yeah.
Awesome. And but with that, this has been Demasked, and I will see all of you next time.